Hey Tartuffe, do the thing. What? Do the thing. Do the spray thing. No, can we please not do this? It's stupid. Hey, I'm recording right now, so if you don't do the spray thing, I'm gonna leave this in the final edit so everybody can see just how much of a dick you are. Fine. Here, give it. Yay, thank you. Maybe the simplicities, intricacies, and mundane style of life mixed with the exaggerated circumstances best display the American lifestyle. That was said by Lindsay Ellis. Love her, absolutely love her stuff. Check her out because she's amazing. Her video essays on just so many different topics and movies are insane. Check out the Hunchback of Notre Dame one. That's a fantastic one. Anyway, that was said by Lindsay Ellis about Fargo, which is the movie we are going to be talking about today. And that quote there just kind of sums up the whole movie. And I'm so excited to talk about this movie. I've been wanting to do it for a while. And I don't know. Shitty B movies always pop up, and I do those instead for some reason. I don't know. But like, this movie is amazing, and I'm going all out today, as you can see. This is a real hat. This isn't CGI. We don't have money for
Shut
CGI. This is real hot cocoa. It is equally as delicious as the hat, and I'm stoked, everybody. I am stoked to talk about this movie because it is one of my favorite movies of all time. Now, you can call me a film snub for thinking that this opening is brilliant. Not that opening. The opening of the actual movie Fargo is brilliant. Just like the score by Carter Burwell is fantastic. The desolation of the shot is beautiful, and how the title card just comes up after the car passes, and I get goosebumps every time it happens. I almost start crying because it's so amazing. Like, I know that sounds like a weird thing to say. Oh, the title card is amazing. But it is. Like, if you watch this movie and you don't feel something right from the beginning, something is wrong with you and you need to get checked out. So the movie opens with, this is based on a true story, all of that. Funny enough, it's actually, everything in the movie itself is not like a true story. It's made up of a lot of different true stories, and then some of the Coen brothers, like, real life experiences, because they're from Minnesota, and it's them saying it's based on a true story was kind of like them calling out all other movies that say they're based on true stories, because it's like, how can we know exactly what was said? You know, people write the dialogue for these movies and everything, and so really based on a true story is almost not a thing, because how true can it actually be? So I just thought that was kind of funny how they just they called that out and poked fun at it. But the movie is set, actually not that much of it takes place in Fargo, funny enough, but it's the desolation out there that they show is real. Like, not everywhere, but I have a friend, and she grew up in a place called Hendricks, Minnesota. And I've been there, and there is nothing out there. It's just flat land, and there's like 20 miles between houses. I'm not even kidding. And the drifts of snow are like exactly what you see in Fargo. Although in this particular movie, the year that they shot it was like one of the warmest winters ever in Minnesota, so they had to like make their own snow and stuff. Just a little tidbit. Now, I'm not saying like the representation of these Midwesterners is accurate, and it's not exactly supposed to be, but I will be honest, it is pretty close. I went to college in Minnesota, and like I said, my friend grew up in the sticks in Minnesota, so I've been around it, and it is like a little exaggerated, but not that much, to be honest. And honestly, maybe I feel like the stereotype and the sort of like near absurdity of it all kind of just helps like define what life in America is like, even, like life in the world, if that makes any sense. But we can talk about the characters too. You have Frances McDormand, who plays Margie, and her relationship with her husband Norm is just like the cutest fucking thing you will ever see. I mean, relationship goals, maybe? Maybe not. I don't want to judge, but they are adorable, right? But I think that the simplicity of Norm and Margie's life is what we all kind of deep down desire. Like, with all the bullshit going on in the world, I think we, yearn for that kind of simplicity. But the funny thing is that like their life isn't just simple, because I mean, you see what the movie's about, right? And Margie is a police officer and gets like rolled in just this shitstorm of a crime, and that makes it even more interesting, because it makes you think, like, even with all the craziness that exists in the world, do we have that choice to make our domestic lives simple and separate it from the outside world? Like, how much power over that do we really have? And I ask you that because it seems like a lot of people just, they seem like the thinking is they're a product of their environment. But there are multiple environments. So there's shit out there that we can't necessarily control, but we have the power to, choose this simple life with our Norms or our Margies if we want to, and it's a really beautiful thing that's presented in this film. But there is so much like that presented in this movie in such a beautiful way, along with the score that backs it all up. Hey, Carter Burwell is a genius, and the score just fits this movie so well. Like, it's just a well crafted piece of art, this movie. And like I said, things like, Margie and Norm's relationship, all that kind of stuff about life is presented in such great ways, like when Steve Buscemi, when he takes the money after he gets, fucked up in the mouth, and he buries it out in the snow, and he marks it with the ice scraper, right? You can barely see the ice scraper. It's this big, and there's just desolate land everywhere else. Like I said at the beginning, like 20 miles between houses, right? And you can barely see this ice scraper, and it just like represents the futility of his actions, and it really makes you think. But even like when Margie and Norm go to the buffet, and they're just all the close-up shots of them scooping the food onto their plates, like, even that just like represents a piece of America that when we all watch it, we're just like, oh, yeah, I know what that is. And it's like you don't even really understand it, but you do. I'm talking like a crazy person, but I hope you know what I mean. Just let me put it all in this question to you. Let me present you with this question. Do all these shots represent the desolation of life or the purest form of opportunity? Just think about that. Take a second and think about that. It was tedious to come up with that question, I won't lie, but I think it's a good question to ask yourself. I don't know. I think it's a good question. Maybe not like Jeopardy good, but just think about it and watch this movie right now. Just go. There's not much left of this video. Go right now and watch Fargo. If you've seen it, watch it again. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? But just go watch it. It's beautiful. I love it, and it's just, I don't know, what can you say? The Coen brothers. Ugh.